Hello everyone, welcome to Oestersund in Sweden for the ladies 10-kilometre freestyle event. We have a strong field here, but it's hard to see past one woman, Marit Bjørgen, the Norwegian, who won the sprint yesterday. She is the favourite to win here in the 10-kilometre freestyle, and this is our course, 2 laps of 5 kilometres and 2 big climbs, one right at the beginning and then towards the end at around 3.5 kilometres. We have another one before a descent back into the stadium. That's how it's looking, back into that area where the sprint event took place yesterday. And as we were saying, lots of fans here. This is a massive cross-country skiing complex, of course, and I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But the athletes will be concentrating, of course, on what has to happen in the next hour or so. So it's the Cross Country World Cup from Oestersund in Sweden, the ladies 10-kilometre freestyle after this break. Welcome back to Oestersund in Sweden as we look at the start list here. It is an individual start, as you can see from the timings, 30 seconds apart. The first 12 are unseeded, and then we get alternate between seeds and non-seeds. And of course we'll be looking particularly closely at those starting at the end, and it should be an interesting race for Marit Bjørgen, fresh from that sprint win. She does have people who can beat her on their day, Therese Johaug being the one who has the most chance. She's won the last couple of races, has bested Marit Bjørgen in Rabinsk, and it'll be interesting to see whether her, Heidi Weng, or of course Charlotte Kalle, the home favourite, will be able to do anything. Charlotte Kalle will be going towards the end as well, but Marit Bjørgen, 72, has the yellow jersey, and she has that because yellow bibs, because she is ahead, but only just from Therese Johaug. There's the wall of autographs. Good to see the athletes getting involved. That's Silje Slind of Norway, wearing 3, the 27-year-old. In fact, just had her birthday on the 9th of February. I wonder whether she can do a personal best here. Only 5 World Cup starts. These are the athletes who are perhaps just looking for a little bit of experience, looking to get and make their mark on the World Cup scene. We wait, of course, for the main athletes to get underway, and they will get underway in just over half an hour's time. 10 o'clock local time, and we are away. And this is the Japanese Yuki Kobayashi, the 27-year-old. He lives in Tusulan, Niigata. Early steep hill, part of that sprint course we were talking about yesterday. A very exciting day of skiing here in Oestersund. Marina Pilla of Italy next out, 30 years of age, very experienced. This is her 25th World Cup start. Yet to find her way really into the radar. Now then, here's Silje Slind, just mentioning her early on. Norway so strong, of course, as a nation in the cross-country skiing, and she is away nice and fast. Fairly new to the World Cup. She will be looking just to run her own race, no one to overhaul apart from the 2 in front of her. Queuing up now, just saw Rosie Brennan of the United States, but ahead of her is Deborah Agrita of Italy. Heading towards her 24th birthday later on this month. She's had some decent results, 16th in Sochi in the 30-kilometre freestyle. Again, 21 World Cup starts now for her, so fairly experienced. Here's the American, Rosie Brennan. 26 years of age now. Again, someone with not too many World Cup starts, just 13. And that killer hill, just to get you underway. They come back down off of that, then there's a big climb back up, and then they head their way down to halfway around this track, the lowest point, and then one more really steep hill, another time trap there, as we see Aurora Jean of France, Bois de Armor, customs officer by trade, sixth in Sochi in the 30 kilometres, so you know, she's got some form there. Martha Kristoffersen next off, wearing 7. A couple of podiums for her in the World Cup. This is her 60th World Cup start, so very experienced, just 25 years of age. Hasn't really been in great form though this season. Kicking Randall of the United States from Anchorage, somewhere with a fairly substantial winter, a bit like Oestersund. Away she goes. A veteran of 4 Olympic Games, in the top 10 a couple of times as well. Good crowd here, really is a fabulous complex. The Oestersund region in the middle of Sweden. Long, cold winter, of course, which really helps. Fresh air. And they claim it's the freshest air and the cleanest water in Europe. Not that will matter too much to these athletes as they get underway. And it's Maria De Bertolis from Italy up that hill. It's going to be a lot of signatures by the end, isn't it? That's Timea Sara of Romania signing up. Meanwhile, ready to get underway. Here's the Frenchwoman Anouk Fèvre-Picon. Weather, it's the forecast is between -3 and -7 today. It's not going to be a trouble with melting snow. The snow, a mix of artificial and natural snow. It's a fast track. We saw from the sprint that there have been some thrills and spills. This longer form, less likely, of course. It was something that Bjørgen benefited from when she won that competition yesterday. Wasn't the fastest qualifier. In fact, one of the slowest ones, second slowest of the 6. But her qualification time of 2:51.69 became a winning time of 2:46.82, almost 2 seconds ahead of Maiken Fala of Norway, and then some home cheer for Stina Nielsen, the Swede coming in 3rd, and that was only just behind Fala. This though, different kettle of fish. Still another half an hour before Bjørgen, overwhelming favourite, gets underway. But, as we said before, don't rule out Therese Johaug. She's won the last 2. She's not been off the podium in 5. And of course she had a stellar start with 4 straight wins. But Marit Bjørgen not been off the podium. 3rd twice, including last time out in Val di Fiemme. Didn't take part in Rybinsk in Russia. Instead, she, after winning the Tour de Ski, she had a week's rest, and then the Norwegian Championships, where she said she didn't race her best. the view from the start. And we saw a little bit earlier with pen in hand, now the skis in her hands. And away we go. Timea Sara is underway. Just before her, by the way, Maria Grafnings, the first of our seeded skiers, 46th in the championship. And we are making our way through slowly to the top, the creme de la creme of this field. Kristoffersen of Norway, looking to see whether she can overtake Slind of Norway. The woman from Meraka is going to be down in the rankings in 5th, almost 9 seconds behind Slind. With bib number 3 on her. Here comes Randall of the United States. And she is in better shape here. Might well just nick this one. It'll be nip and tuck. Perhaps just not going to run the clock down in time. No, I don't think so. And into red territory we go. Slind stays ahead. Well, it's not a sprint, it is a longer form of racing here. A lot will depend on the conditions. It will be faster, a little icy. A lot of this winter we've had to struggle through slushy snow. Well, we've just missed the British competitor, Rosamund Musgrave. But chasing her, this is the Swede, Sofia Blecker. She'll be cheered all the way amongst the locals here in Oestersund. Welcome back to Sweden, to Oestersund, the cross-country mecca for the country. Lots of facilities here, of course. We are heading inexorably towards the favourites here. We're into the seeded skiers, of which Olga Kuzikova is one of them, of Russia. 33rd at the moment in the standings, a best of 14th. Had that a couple of times, including last time out in Russia. Slind still leading. What can Grafnings do here? Round to this first time trap at just under 2 kilometres, and I think Slind still showing that she had a very good start. Yes, she'll stay first here. Grafnings just struggling a little bit, over 9 seconds in 10th place. These athletes will start to bunch eventually, of course. Last event before the World Championships in Fallon, that's up next. Whoever wins this race, of course, a very good chance of winning in the World Championships as well. History tells us that much. In 4 of the last 6 championships, that's World Championships and Olympic Games, the winner of the final 10-kilometre race ahead of a championship has also won the gold medal in the same event a few days later. And that happened 3 times in a row before Marit Borgen only finished 5th in Sochi. So if she wins here, she'll be hoping to revert back to the norm. We'll have to wait and see. The favourites for this race, of course, not going for another 20 minutes or so. Big cheer from the locals for Maria Rönnqvist of Sweden from Aldalen, wearing 26. There's another Swede looking to get on top of the leaderboard, if only just for a moment. This is Blecker, and she is looking good, 5.6 seconds ahead of Slind, so a moral victory over their neighbours. Looking very easy on the skis there in this freestyle event. 10 kilometres twice around this course. Claudia Neisted of Germany is next, 30th in the standings at the moment. Only competed in the first 5, has been absent since then. So let's see what she can do. 5th was her best by far. That was at Davos in the 10-kilometre individual freestyle. So she is someone to keep an eye on. I wonder if she can replicate that form. She's certainly going up that hill with purpose. Sylwia Jaskowicz of Poland is next up. Been knocking on the door of the top 10. 11th, the best for her. And that was in Russia. Didn't compete in the second day, but certainly someone will be in the mix. Next up, Lynn Sölvbaska of Sweden. Going at 30-second intervals, of course. And, Sweden not seeded this one. 28 years of age, being cheered up the hill by those who have wrapped up warm. At the moment, it's -5 under clear skies. The wind is not really a factor. You can see the trees in the background just moving a little bit of breeze on the bibs of the starters. There's Kaisa Saarinen of Finland, 36-year-old now, already moving past the struggling form of Aurora Jean, who's on her second lap, of course. Now then, Meunier of France, looking to at least keep in touch with Blecker, who is ahead at the moment. Slind keeping herself ahead through the first lap. She's 5 seconds ahead of Marina Piller, but expect that, of course, to change as the more well-known athletes head around this course. Rydqvist of Sweden looking to make it a 1-2 for Swedish athletes after this first checkpoint. And she's got a little bit of time in hand here. Can she make it past those red markers in time? I doubt it, actually. It's very close. Just behind. It's that 2.3 seconds. Slind still in the mix and started really well. Riitta-Liisa Ruoponen of Finland next through the timing barrier. Not raced that much, but she was on the podium last time out. Had a 3rd and a 10th to go with her 7th. She had that 7th in Davos in this event, the 10-kilometre individual. So she may well be someone to keep an eye on. Did well in Russia. Now then, Johanna Sundlin of Sweden, just turned 20, just after Christmas. She's done pretty well in the Junior World Championships, so she's certainly somebody to keep an eye on for the future. Another Finn now, Anna Koilanen. There we are, silver medalist in the Olympic Games, and also, of course, has form in the World Cup. 4 podiums for her, a couple of seconds. 66 World Cup starts for her now. As we head further up and look at the pole, Jaskiewicz, who again is going to be in the mix at the top at the moment. She's behind Blicker at the moment by 5 seconds, and that will put her down into 3rd place. It will push Slim down into 4th. Chance just to relax a little bit and get into that tuck position and head back down the hill. That first couple of kilometres is uphill.
Come on, Rosie. Yeah! Yeah, girl! Come on, Rosie!
You can hear a coach somewhere, but it's Krista Palomakoski who is getting underway from Finland. Doesn't sound like a Finnish coach to me. So here comes Saarinen. Again, struggling to keep up with the early pace of Blecker. And she may well be, what, 4th or 5th with that? Oh, even more. Struggling to get under 10 seconds. Down into 9th place, just ahead of Pilar of Italy. Chance to get over the brow of this hill and regroup down a little bit further on. Diggins of the United States.
Yeah, Jesse! Woo!
There we go.
Come on,
that'll
now.
Be our coach.
Yeah!
Just trying to get them through. Speed them up. She's there or thereabouts. Diggins.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah! Yeah, girl!
Coaching, she does very well into 1st, and you can hear the coach's delight. Coaches all around this course, obviously just to give some moral support as they just climb that little hill, and then there's a drop down before they have another little climb, then down to the lowest point of the course, and then a big climb up to the second timing beam, and then downhill towards the stadium again. 44 is Astrid Jakobsen of Norway.
Come on, girl!
Good round of applause for her. She was first in Rybinsk in the 10 kilometres freestyle in January. So she certainly is somebody who's in with a chance here. 19th in the standings, only competed in Russia actually. And 1st and 9th is what she managed. So keep an eye on number 19. That's Jakobsen. Beg your pardon, bib number 44, 19th in the championship. That's Astrid Jakobsen. This is the mark at 8.3 kilometres. That's the second one. Having been round the course once already, and Slind is top of the pack at the moment. Welcome back to Sweden and to Oestersund, and Anna Haag has already got underway, as has Albertina Tangina of Russia. So we are heading towards the sharp end of these women skiers. Charlotte Kalla will be on her way very shortly. As we look at Krista Palmikowski. Here we go then, Charlotte Kalla. Home hopes resting on her. Six World Cup podiums at home in Sweden. And she has won 5 out of her 6 World Cup events in 10-kilometre freestyle. Has been a while though since she's won a 10-kilometre freestyle with individual start. 5 years to be precise. Gold, of course, in 2010 in Vancouver in this event, and she'll be hoping to show what she's made of. Over she goes. Home fans wrapped up warm, not the warmest here at the moment. And still they come. Another Swedish hope, the 2014 Olympic champion. And she's been pretty good form this season and getting into the groove. Didn't compete in Russia. She was 4th twice in Toblach in Italy. Yeah, 25-year-old on the course then. So Viken and Kalla both underway. Some of these athletes, of course, coming close to completing this course. And at the finish, here is Pilla of Italy. She'll take first place for the time being. Slind will probably overhaul her, I would have thought. Here comes Slind right now. A big push to the finish, downhill. Now you can take a breather. Yeah, 4.9 seconds, just under 5 seconds ahead of Pilla. She's been good all the way around, hasn't she? Silje Slind of the Oppdal club in Norway. Back at the sharp end, the favourites yet to get underway. Olga of Spain is next away, not one of our seeded competitors. 28 years of age, veteran of 3 Olympic Games though, and that's her 41st World Cup start. Now Martine Hagen of Norway, here she goes. 10th in the standings at the moment. She was 2nd last time out in Russia. That was in the skiathlon. And in the individual freestyle, she managed to come in 6th place. So certainly somebody who will be there or thereabouts. Diggins of the United States still leading that split time at 1.8. Tangina of Russia. We'll start to see at some stage these times starting to tumble when the top athletes come through. Meanwhile, at the finish, here comes Kristoffersen. What can she do? It's going to be tight. And she goes into first place at the moment. Now then, Kalla of Sweden. Look at that, 18.5 seconds ahead of Diggins. Now we're getting the speed merchants on this icy course. Of course, the skis have to be right as well. Teams of technicians working through the night, I'm sure, to make sure it is right. They'll be out testing the course. Further up the course, Blecker, who has been having a good race so far, looking like she's going to take the split again, and she's being cheered on through this course, of course, by all the Swedes here. 17.5 seconds ahead of Zakova, so it's a good effort from this Swede. Beacon coming around, and she is not as fast as she would have liked. Saying the Olympic Games champion, hoping to do well in front of her home crowd, but that will be a real disappointment to be that far behind so early on. Didn't race in Russia. I'm wondering whether she's lacking a little bit of sharpness. Ragnhild Haga. Sixth in the standings at the moment. Another one who didn't race in Russia, but plenty of top tens. A podium for her in Oestersund in Germany. Gerti Niskanen heading towards her first split time. She's quite a long way behind Kalle, who certainly has set the mark here. Almost 20 seconds. In fact, it will be over 20 seconds. It's still Kalle of Sweden who's setting the mark here in Sweden, in Oestersund. Welcome back. This is Elizabeth Stephen of the United States, who has had a very good season, been on the podium a couple of times, certainly getting better as the season goes on. She's fourth in the championships. Meanwhile, let's have a look at how Zakova is doing here, and she will leapfrog Kristoffersen of Norway. A 15-second cushion for her. Half an hour to get herself around this track. It's under 25 minutes for her, and here comes Blecker up that last little high hill, part of that sprint course, of course, and well, Blecker certainly looking to go into first place by quite some distance as well. So pretty good for her.
Come on, Jesse! Yeah, girl, come on! Come on!
We love the American coach cheering on.
Go get him, Jesse!
This men, this women rather, and this Maria Rykvist of Sweden. Up on the course as we wait for Marit Björgen in the yellow bib to get underway. She is, what an athlete she is. So focused. Six-time Olympic champion, of course. Well, who can catch Kalle on this early first 1.8 kilometre time trap? Not Öberg, that's for sure. Not seeded, of course. They alternate between seeds and non-seeded. Another one who's almost 20 seconds behind the speed of Charlotte Kalle. And we said she likes this event, she likes this distance. And Therese Johaug, off she goes. Last of our competitors, I think about last but one of our competitors, almost forgetting Marit Björgen. How can we do that? Won the last couple she competed in, wasn't in Russia, but in Val di Fiemme. Won both the mass start at 10 kilometres and the 9 kilometres pursuit. So then, almost forgot her, how could we? Still in peak fitness. She's 34 years of age, but if you do some research on Marit Bjørgen, sooner or later you'll stumble across some pictures of her working out in the gym, and there's not a person who could say that she is not in peak condition. She is very driven. She won the sprint race yesterday, of course, and she will be the hot favourite. It's a good send-off from the fans in the stadium. A lot of Norwegians here, of course, at this fabulous facility, host of many national and international winter sports events, the Arctic Cat Cup, the World Enduro Championship, cross-country skiing World Cup, of course, because here we are, the Vertex 24, the World Junior Curling Championships, and of course, as we saw earlier on, the opening of the Biathlon Championships as well. Fabulous facility to have for Sweden. Here we are around stadium, 89 kilometres of tracks, 29 of which are under lights, and of course a test lab as well for the National Winter Sports Centre.
Yeah, she is.
Part of the Mid-Sweden University. Beautiful part of the world, and certainly Sweden showing very well at the moment in this race.
Here we go, Liz. Yeah, Liz. Yeah, come on, Liz. Come on, buddy. Yeah, Liz.
Röjqvist of Sweden. There we are, bib number 26, coming through to the finish. That really tough climb up through the little inflatable and back down again. And then the rush, the long bursting rush to the finish here. She knows she's against the clock, she's over the clock. Blicher still hanging on to that lead by almost 10 seconds. Meanwhile, a little bit further behind, Diggins of the United States. We've heard just what the coaches are doing to keep her going. Jess Diggins of the United States. In the top 10, Diggins, in fact, knocked down to third place. Heidi Weng of Norway, third place in the championship. She's not won so far this season, but she's rarely been off the podium. Good times here, good skiing conditions. Had to bring a little bit of artificial snow, but it's been a cold old night here in Sweden, and those tracks are good and firm. A little bit tricky for the sprint, a few collisions. You've got to try and keep your footing whilst keeping your speed, of course. It's the freestyle, the skating style, of course. Kalle still ahead of Johaug. There's Johaug coming through now, and she's over 10 seconds behind at 1.8 kilometres. She'll head towards the next hill. Still waiting for Bjørgen to come through that timing point. Back at the finish, this is Jaskowicz of Poland, up that hill, which is bad enough after you've been sprinting for 2.5 kilometres. But after 10k, your legs will be burning. You've still got to give it everything. Choose your lane and keep going. Not going to threaten Blicher so far. 20 seconds adrift of the leader. Here comes Bjørgen, and she's behind Kalle as well. Well, we know that Kalle has the form. We know she has an Olympic gold from Vancouver. Another gold, of course, in the 4x5 kilometre relay with Anna Haag. So Kalle coming up to this 6.8 kilometre point of the course on the second lap already. Not long to go in this race, really. And look how far ahead she is of Jakobsen. Really working those skis well. 49 seconds clear of second place Jakobsen. Working hard, getting yourself then into the tuck. Most efficient way to get yourself downhill. 34 is Jess Diggins, who's had a good race so far. Certainly punching above her weight a little bit. And will she be ahead? Heading towards the finish. You doubt it somehow, but it's a good race for the American, for Diggins. Some decent results. 5th last time out, as we mentioned, in Russia. That was a skiathlon. But she's been doing okay at this distance as well, and she will push hard. Not going to beat Blecker, that's for sure. Will she make it into the top 10? Well, she's 5th at the moment. You imagine it won't be top 10 by the end, and that's the effort it's taken from the American. 23-year-old from Afton, Minnesota. Ropinen now, the Finn. Has been on top of the World Cup podium. Doesn't look like she will be here. Well, 7.4 seconds ahead of Blecker, and she's happy with that. Can she hang on to that decent position? You wouldn't imagine it will be first, but if she can get into the top 10, Ropinen will be happy enough. Well, that's how we're looking. After everyone's gone through 1.8 kilometres, Carla with a 10-second cushion. She'll be very happy with that. So Ropinen top of the pile at the moment, only raced in Russia so far in this series. 10th and a 3rd for her. She's finished. These racers haven't. That's Charlotte Kalla, who is leading on timings at the moment in this race. 10 seconds ahead of the competition. Can she carry on and bring another famous victory for the home fans here? I say she hasn't raced since the 5th round in Davos. That was just before Christmas, but she is looking ever so good at the moment. Heading up towards that 8.3 checkpoint, up on top of that hill, working hard. 58.4. Well, she's absolutely annihilating this course. Can she pull away from the likes of Bjørgen and Johaug? Well, they have a faster finish. At the moment, she is ahead. After that early checkpoint, she was by 10 seconds. Hagen is struggling, almost a minute behind Kalla, who is on fire at the moment. Not long to go in this race, getting towards the denouement. They await the arrival of Charlotte Kalla. Wins more than she doesn't when it comes to this 10-kilometre freestyle in the World Cup. 5 out of 6. Can she make it 6 out of 7? It may be cold, it may be early, but they've turned up. Jakobsen heading towards the finish here. Got a bit of time in hand, but Ropinen had a very good second leg. There's the lake in the distance, still frozen by the look of it. Fabulous part of the world. I feel like a visit. Highly recommended. So beautiful. Last bit of rest as they come down the hill and sweep around towards the finish up this hill. Here's where the effort comes in. 33 seconds in hand as they head up through the inflatable, back down again. No time to rest here. Keep skating, keep pushing. What can she do? It's close. She should have enough in hand. And it's Jakobsen, just under 10 seconds, goes into the lead for the time being. Good work. And Jakobsen will be very happy with that. 9 seconds ahead of Rupen at the moment. Now then, Viken of Sweden. Ahead of Kalla in the championships, but she's raced a lot more opportunity to get some points, and she's 1.5 minutes behind Kalla already with less than 2Ks to go. Not a good day at the office for the Swede. Here comes Kalla. Look how much time she has in hand over Jakobsen. Well, she'll certainly lead. The question is by how much, and has she done enough to give herself enough of a cushion ahead of Marit Bjørgen, Theresa Johaug. Listen to the crowd. Absolutely delighted to see how well she's doing here. The cheering will get louder as she comes over the rise here. Over she comes, still just under 1.5 minutes in hand over Jakobsen. Still pushing the accelerator button. She is doing fabulously here. It'll be more than a minute, that's for sure. And Charlotte Kalla, this is what she enjoys. This is the distance, and yet again, in the 10-kilometre freestyle, she shines. No wonder there's a smile there. Well, what can the rest do? Hagen. Well, she doesn't even look like she's broke a sweat, but she'll have a chance to sit down in the winner's enclosure for the time being, and very possibly might stay there. Fessel also feeling the strain there. Here comes Tangina of Russia. Almost 2 minutes behind Kalla, 11th. That'll be a disappointment for her. Not long to go before we get all these skiers through, and Kalla does look like she has done enough. We'll have to see what Marit Bjørgen and Theresa Johaug have in hand. Here's Shekeleva of Russia. Eighth in the championship. She's had her moments. First, as we said, last time out in Russia, but she's a long way behind here. This is the finish from Kalla, still pushing hard. Look at the effort, still after 10Ks. Now, they've had a season of racing behind them. They should be in peak form, heading towards those World Championships, 2 weeks in Fallon. Whoever wins this race has a good chance there, as we said, historically. Here comes Veng of Norway. Again, struggling to keep up with Kalla, 41 seconds behind A woman who hasn't been off the podium since before Christmas, since Davos on the 13th of December. Here comes Viken. Again, she's not going to beat her Swedish counterpart. Viken, the 2014 Olympic champion, is well off the pace there, and she will be disappointed with that. 1:42 away from the pace of Charlotte Kaller. Now then, Johaug with a lot to do. 6.8 kilometres is where she is. The woman who started the season with 4 straight wins, and then before they went to Russia, where she didn't compete, had another couple of wins. Been in a private duel with Marit Bjørgen. But Kaller, who's back after a long layoff, really has shown that she's back and in some style as well. Haga going through the checkpoint, just ahead of Stephanie Böhler of Germany, and just behind them, Jenny Oberg. Hagen then at the finish is number 56 on the bib from Norway. Good time last time out in Russia. Not so good here. Over a minute behind Kaller. And that 23:26.1 is looking increasingly like a winning time here. Can Johaug and Bjørgen pull something out of the fire? She's looking very comfortable there, isn't she? Very happy. Wrapped up against the elements. -5 when we started this race. Chikhaleva of Russia coming through now. Big gap in her World Cup races, but first and fourth last time out in Russia, and again another one who's not within a minute of Kaller's time. A 31-year-old, full-time skier, of course, as the top athletes are. 1:21 down into 5th place. There's quite a spread between these top racers. Just a couple more left on the track. Time for a quick phone call home. Yeah, I did all right. Sitting in the winner's seat at the moment. Here comes Ven, still struggling to be in touch. They're looking for podium places, really, at the moment. Just ahead of her is Elizabeth Stephen of the United States. Up this hill they go towards the last checkpoint before the finish. Just under a minute for Ven. Well, that checkpoint also has a lot of spectators around there. Yeah, they're really enjoying themselves towards the last part of this race. Here's Johaug wearing 70. Second in the championship. Good race between her and Marit Bjørgen. Remember, just over, 26 points between them in the World Cup rankings. Bjørgen, who is just so outstanding. Her record swept all before her, of course. She goes. Meanwhile, Haga at the finish. Again, over a minute. But can she get herself a decent amount of points in the top 10? Well, She's down into 6th, just ahead of Blecker, who started very, very early and had a great race. And a top 10, no disgrace. And here is Bjorgen with the yellow bib. She's still down on Carla, but she's ahead of Johaug. And she's got a little cushion there. Looking good for second place. Between this little battle between the skiers top and second in the championship at the moment. Here comes Fessel of Germany. Again, over a minute between her and Kalle, who was absolutely outstanding. Of course, Kalle training. This will be her home course, a home race. Third place for Fessel, just edging out Ropinen of Finland. That's a good effort from the German. Nicole Fessel, who didn't race in Russia and has been there or thereabouts in the top 10 all the way through this season. Was 5th in the standings. That's how it looks after 8.3 kilometres, and it has to be said, you can't look past Charlotte Kalle at the moment. The question is, will Bjorgen make it past Johaug to take second place? 100 points, of course, on offer. Still sitting pretty, Charlotte Kalle. The locals here love their cross-country skiing, and they love their heroes as well, and Charlotte Kalle certainly is one of them. Heidi Weng of Norway. As you said, being on the podium for the last 7 races she's competed in, and it looks like she'll be on the podium again, possibly. It's a really good time. It's just a question of whether Johaug and Bjorgen can best her. I don't think she's going to have any trouble getting inside Jakobsen's second place time. She's going to have to go some, though. It's not under a minute, but it's a good time, and into second place she goes. Well, good effort. Skis are looking good on her as well. Look at the intake of breath. Now then, Johaug. She won't be first, but she needs to put down a really good marker. She may struggle to be second here. Still got this rise, this steep rise to get through. 30 seconds left to overhaul Weng's time. And really good second lap. Elizabeth Stephen congratulating Charlotte Kalle. Johaug then working hard. Can she just take this second place? It looks like she can. Weng will have to drop down to third. And now we wait to see whether Marit Bjorgen can in turn take that second place. But that's the woman who's won it. And here is Marit Bjorgen. She won the sprint. She's not going to win here. The question is, can she take second place from her compatriot? Today's Johaug. Well, she's done the hard part. Over that steep rise, down she comes. It should be enough for second place. It should be enough to extend her lead in the World Cup standings. She knows that she has second place. There she goes, quite easily in the end as well. So Kalle of Sweden behind the two Swedes of Johaug and Bjorgen. And she's in such good shape, no need to fall to the ground and take in some breaths. Good comradeship between all these athletes, of course. And it's another home victory for Charlotte Kalle. Really good record, as we said, in these World Cup events, the 10-kilometre freestyle. That's now 6 out of 7 that she's competed in. And she's also laid to rest that hoodoo of not winning for 5 years in an individual start. So this is how it finishes. What a good time from Charlotte Kaller, 23:26.1. Marit Bjørgen with the yellow bib just behind her, and then Therese Johaug, the only other athlete who could make it within a minute of Kaller's time. Points all the way down, of course, for these athletes. There's Stephen in the midfield, but those are the three that matter. It's another impressive win for Charlotte Kaller in the 10-kilometre freestyle. Lovely sunny skies here in Sweden. Winter lasting a little bit longer this far north. Fabulous course, of course, here in Oestersund in Sweden for this 10-kilometre individual freestyle. The yellow bib of Marit Bjørgen couldn't win this race. Our race is done, but the luge is soon to get underway in Sigulda in Latvia. They have their race to run. I hope you'll stay with us for that. That's the woman on the left-hand side who knows that she's won here in Sweden. Fabulous all the way through from Charlotte Kaller. This is the images of the first run from the luge, by the way, in Sigulda. And the second run we will have live for you very shortly here on Eurosport. So Charlotte Kaller, a great win for her, a home win as well from all of us here in Oestersund in Sweden. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.